Hi, second graders. Today we're going to continue the wondering that we have been doing for the last few weeks. Only instead of wondering about fiction, which is what we have been doing, today we are going to start wondering about nonfiction. Remember, nonfiction means not made up. And so we are going to be wondering about articles and books that teach us true facts. Today, we're going to read an article from a magazine called Ask. We're going to read from the March 2020 edition, which is subtitled, A Walk in the Woods. I'd like you to think about some of the walks you have taken over the last few weeks. Or if you haven't been able to take a walk, I'd like you to think about what you have noticed about the trees that you can see from outside your window. And think about what are some of the questions you have or things that you've wondered about trees and plants as you've been on walks or just looked outside your window. If you have a piece of paper, I'd like you to take a moment to pause this video and write down a couple of questions that you found yourself asking as you were looking at the trees. Did you write down some of your questions? I hope so, but even if you didn't, the article that we're going to read today is completely full of questions that then we'll be able to read to find the answers to. The article that we are going to read is called Little Questions in the Big Woods. As we are reading, we are going to read several questions and possible answers to those questions. You'll have a chance to think about what you are predicting the answer is, and then you'll listen to see if your answer, what you think is the answer, is correct. Please listen as the article is introduced. Ah, spring, the perfect time for a walk in the woods. But wait, what's that? And how did that get there? The woods are full of mysteries. Here's our first question. Maybe some of these questions will match the questions that you've written. How do trees know when it's spring? And there's the picture that goes with it. A, it gets warmer. B, the squirrels tell them. C, the days get longer. What do you think the answer might be? Let's read to find out. Trees can sense temperature and light. Changes in the weather trigger changes in the trees. Trees slow down for winter when the nights get longer. They wake up again when daylight stays longer than night. They are not fooled by shade or street lights. Sunlight is a different quote-unquote flavor of light to them. Trees also know it's time to grow new leaves when they feel several weeks of warm weather after a big, long, cold spell. So the correct answer is A, it gets warmer, and C, the days get longer. Was that what you thought as well? The next question we have is, why is that tree eating a sign? Let's make sure you can see that tree eating the sign. A, to get extra iron. B, the sign got in the way. C, it's controlled by a sign-eating fungus, and a fungus is another name for a mushroom. Which one do you think is correct? Let's find out. Trees never stop growing. They grow taller from the top and wider by adding new layers of wood just under the bark. If some rude person nails something, like a sign, to the tree grows its new layers right around it. So the answer is B, the sign got in the way. Ready for some other questions? Here we go. Why do leaves change color? A, they get bored. B, they turn off the green in winter. C, elves paint them. What do you think is correct? In the winter, some trees drop their leaves, since winter is dark and the leaves just freeze. As the leaves shut down, their green sugar-making cells, which are chlorophyll, fade. The red and yellow pigments are not new. They've been there all along, hidden by the green. Evergreen trees keep their small leaves, or needles, all year round. That way they can get a jump start on making sugar in spring. So the answer is B. They turn off the green in winter. Here's our next question, which goes with this picture here. Where do all the old leaves go? A, they get eaten. B, they turn back into soil. Or C, they are recycled into new leaves. If every tree in the forest drops a large pile of leaves every year, why isn't the world buried in old leaves? Thank the decomposers. Worms, insects, snails, bacteria, small animals, and fungi nibble up dead leaves. Yum. These creatures poop out digested leaf stuff broken down into its basic ingredients again. Those nutrients go back into the soil. Trees suck up the recycled good stuff and use it to make new leaves. The forest is great at recycling. So the answer is all of the above. A, they get eaten. B, they turn back into soil. And C, they are recycled into new leaves. Are you ready for one more question? What's that lump on the tree? And let me show you the picture of the lump that they're talking about. I'm excited for this question because on my walk, there are some very lumpy trees, and I'm curious to know what's causing those lumps. The possible answers are A, it's growing around an irritation, and irritation means something that is bothering the tree. A, it's growing around an irritation. B, the tree is storing fat for the winter. Or C, it has a tree disease that makes lumps. Do you have your prediction? Lumps on trees, called galls, are often caused by insects burrowing into the branches. The trees tries to fence off the bugs by growing bark around them, forming a lump. Galls can also be caused by bacteria or fungi. Sometimes an infection can cause a tree to grow strangely, forming lumpy growths called burls. Tree infections can also cause cankers, rough patches that look like tree rash. So the answer is A or C. It's growing around an irritation, or it has a tree disease that makes lumps. In this article, we read several questions about things that we may have noticed about trees and wondered about. This week, as you watch the videos online, you will continue to work with wondering about a nonfiction topic, and then listening to the nonfiction text to see if your wondering is explained. As you're reading for IDR this week, I'd also like you to see if you can find a nonfiction text like an article from a magazine or one that you have home with you or one that you find online, and read and wonder. Next time that we meet, we'll continue to read and wonder about nonfiction as well. And I hope that you learn a lot and find a lot of answers to your questions. See you next time. Bye-bye.